Ready for the week ahead? Hopefully the weather's not too bad at the minute in the UK for you. Hopefully it's getting a little bit better. We are now going live on, yes, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Good morning, welcome. Last week at our movement session on Wednesday, Keith on the Zoom session was talking about breathe light. So that's what we're going to focus on today, just to really get clear what we mean when we talk about breathe light, because we can often get confused with shallow breathing, light breathing, and it's just remembering that we breathe the volume of air that we need for what we are doing at that moment in time. So for example, if we're sitting here just listening to me waffle on, we're not going to sit here going breathing really hard and fast and deep, because if we do that we end up what we call hyperventilating. And that's relevant in everything we do. So our breath is responsive to situation, environment, temperature, etc., emotions, thoughts. It responds to those situations. So the idea of light, slow, deep practice is just to really, at a very foundational level, see how little air you need to breathe, but still keeping very calm and relaxed. So that's what we'll explore today. But as always, we're going to start off with our movement just to get our spine moving, our nervous system woken up. So find your comfortable space, making sure the space to the sides and also space forwards and backwards, so we're not knocking into anything. And let's start off with just some very gentle shaking, just shaking out the arms, shaking out the legs, loosening up the shoulders, and then we can start tapping the heels into the ground and freeing up the shoulders, shaking the wrists. Really make sure we get some release into the shoulders and the back and between the shoulder blades, the base of the spine, the base of the skull. And let's do a nice morning cleansing and clearing breath. So taking a calm, full breath in through the nose and letting go. That let go can be through the mouth. Let's do that again. Calm, full breath in through the nose, expanding the rib cage. And little hold at the top and let go. Let's do that one more time. Calm, full breath in through the nose. Hold for a couple of seconds and let go. And then just gradually slow that down, slow it down. We're going to open the palms up, open the shoulders up to the front. Letting the breath calm and settle, noticing any tingling sensations running through the body. Going about shoulder width apart on the feet. Let's aim this morning just to have our feet parallel, so our feet facing forwards. If that really creates the knees dropping in too much, if it's really, really uncomfortable, just turn them out a little bit, but just to focus on parallel feet and almost like the feet are sucking up the ground. Imagine you've got a beach ball and you're holding that beach ball and you're just lifting the beach ball there with the palm of the hand. The feet are just sucking the ground up. I don't want you to create tension. I don't want you to tighten the feet or tighten the toes. Just really connect to the ground. A little bit of softness in the knees and the hips. And we do now a little bit of knocking. Imagine that you are just being very gently lifted from the crown of the head by a string. And you're just dangling by that string, lifting the crown of the head towards the sky. We're connecting to the sky through the crown of the head, and we're connecting to the earth through the soles of the feet. Watch as we are rotating that we're not dropping that head down. I'm just watching a few of you on Zoom. I'm exaggerating slightly. We're getting that head dropping down. Lift tall, lift that spine. Keep the back of the neck long. Make it easy. Less is more. Gentle breathing, softly, very lightly in and out through the nose. Breathe what you need. I just see that Barbara has joined our Zoom. Morning, Barbara. We had a really good conversation the other night. Barbara has some lovely coaching cues and was talking about, and just enjoy the breath. Just enjoy, savor each single breath you take. Just as we do when we have a really nice meal. We think exercise, oh, it's really hard work. I've got to do my exercise, got to do my chore. Just enjoy it. Enjoy the morning. Remember that connection to the ground, to the earth with the feet. We're not gripping, but it's almost like just that little bit of suction, the bubbling spring. That point on the ball of the foot is in connection to the ground. And our crown is lifting towards the sky, earth and sky. Could do this all morning actually. Should we just do this for half an hour? I just feel like it. Slowing it down into water waves. Still keep that crown lifted towards the sky. Back long, neck long, shoulders relaxed. And take a rest, standing tall. Just bring the feet about hip width again, aiming on that parallel feet, heading forwards. If it feels forced, then just turn the feet out a little bit. We don't want any stress or strain, but if we can just have those feet, just exploring parallel feet, connecting to the ground. Let's go back out, maybe slightly wider than hip, again, whatever feels comfortable in that width for you, where you're not creating any tightness or tension around the hips or thighs. And again, if we can, aiming for those parallel feet. We're going to tilt forwards, we're going to do our little spine wave. So as we're tilting forwards at the hips, our chest is lifted, and our face, we are facing forwards, and then we'll do that little spine roll up. So tilting forwards, and then rolling up. So you want to keep that chest lifted for as long as you can, and then roll up. I'm going to show you from the side. You can keep facing the front. We're just getting that spine rolling. So I'm tilting forwards, and then I'm rolling up. If we can, what tends to happen when we tilt forwards is we push the hips back. We can go back a little bit with the hips, but see if you can keep the hips very much close to over the ankles. It just gives you that nice lengthening there down the back. That whole back line of the fascia running through the body. But again, as always, we're not forcing, we're not straining. Spine wave. Breathing is just gentle, light. You don't have to breathe with the movement at all. That's almost let the movement be guided by the breath. For some reason this morning, I'm really just wanting to repeat and repeat and repeat all of these movements, which is nice. Let's do 2 more. I think one morning we'll do 30 minutes of bamboo in the wind. That'll be a good one. And then take a moment. Letting the breath settle. At the end of each movement, you tend to want to just take that slightly fuller breath, very naturally. It's almost like expanding and softening. So if you feel that, then just do that. Don't feel as if you have to restrict. Let's go a little bit wider now with the feet. We're going to take the hips back slightly. We're just going to rest on the thighs. We're going to shift our weight side to side. Pelvis stays parallel to the ground. So my whole upper body is going with the pelvis at the minute. See my whole upper body. I'm not doing this, not leaning side to side. Whole upper body going with the pelvis to start off with. Pelvis is level. So we're keeping everything level. I'm not raising up or down or tilting side to side like this. Gliding. And then we're going to free up that upper body. And we're looking at the opposite foot or the opposite big toe. Dip down and then really just get almost like a figure of 8 with the hips, with the pelvis, the hips and the waist. And then just freeing up the spine. Freeing up the neck. And then very slowly come to the center and just stand tall again when you're ready. We're just going to finish off our little bit of movement practice this morning, movement and breath, with a stance. Now, a stance suggests standing and static, and actually a stance isn't static. There's a lot going on when we're standing. So it's not about holding tension. We're going to stay in this position with our feet slightly wider than hip width apart. We're going to aim again for our feet to be parallel, i.e. facing forwards. If that is causing any major disruption in that line of the knee and the hip, then just turn the feet out a little bit. And we're going to tilt the hips forwards, just as we did when we were doing the spine roll, sliding your hands down the thighs and then just resting on the thighs. So again, I'm not sitting back on this. It's very easy just to go, oh, I'll just shift my hips back. I'm sliding down. And then I'm just resting, and then I'm going to bend my knees. I'm going to imagine I've got a little bit of weight on the tailbone. We've done this a little bit with Water Buffalo, and we're going to go down and just rest our elbows on the thighs and sitting tall. And again, if there's any problem here, just come up a little bit higher, but see if we can just get down to that position. And it'll feel a little bit challenging. Hold the position, but not the breath. So just breathing. And then let's just lift that upper body up. So we're just coming up and we're going to put fist into our palm. Keep the shoulders down, stand tall. Breathing. Breathing, breathing, and then very slowly come up. Let's just do pulling down the heavens, breathing in, breathing out. And then we're going to bring our hands down on the lower abdomen. We're going to bring our feet together. Just closing your eyes. Throw a little bit of bamboo in the wind. But just bringing your attention now, as the breath settles, to the lower abdomen, so where you have your hands placed. And just soften into this space, soften into this area. So as you breathe in, and this is natural breathing, we're not trying to breathe in any particular way. Feel a very subtle expansion here, deep in the lower abdomen. So keep that focus of breathing deep in terms of the location. Remember, we're not breathing air physically down there, but this is a result of the pressure, intra-abdominal pressure, as we breathe in. The diaphragm moves down, it creates pressure in the abdomen. And if we can just soften into the hips. So when we are breathing deep, it's not necessarily big. This is so key to understanding the idea of breathing light. We often think if we take deep breaths, we have to increase the volume. Here you are just very calmly and gently feeling that sensation of a deep breath. It's the location, not the volume. I always remember my friend and colleague Larry Camerata talking about a golden thread of air that you're breathing in through the nose. Very soft thread going deep into the center of the body. So follow that golden thread deep into the body. Very light volume of air. Notice how little air you actually need to breathe. And then when you are ready, we can take a slightly fuller breath. It's all good. Breathing in, expanding a little bit more, opening your eyes at the top of that breath, stepping out, just giving yourself a very gentle brush down. And we're going to, again, just focus on that light breathing just for the final few minutes of our session. So you can stay standing if you want to stay standing. If you want to sit, please feel free to sit. And with this practice, what I'd like to do is get a very light sense of air hunger. And this is the key to the breathe light exercise. It's to feel calm and relaxed without going into panic, but to get on almost on the edge of breathing the absolute least amount of air that you can without tensing the body, without tensing up. So it's a really subtle exercise. Go back to what Barbara was talking about, that idea of just enjoying it, just relax. Don't be trying too hard to breathe light, because then we restrict what we're doing. And a nice little way to do this is to have your feet in contact with the ground and nice and supported on the surface that you're sitting. There's always a great start, because that is the body signaling to the brain that you're stable and strong and supported. Working on lengthening up through the spine. All the work we've done this morning on the spine helps you lengthen the spine without it being rigid. Relaxing into the face. Again, relaxing into the face is telling the brain, yeah, if my face is relaxed, if I've got that inner smile, if I'm enjoying what I'm doing, can't be stressed, can I? No. Relaxing into the face. And just starting off with noticing the breath. Easiest place to spot the breath, to feel that physical sensation of the air in the throat, in the back of the throat, behind the nose. Nice cool air as you're breathing in. And just following a few breaths, just letting that breath be natural. Again, avoiding any temptation to try and breathe in a particular way. This is your body telling you at this moment in time, this is how I need to breathe. This is the amount of air I need to breathe at this moment in time. And then I just want you to bring your attention to the change of direction of the breath. The breath is very smooth, it's rhythmical, and as you're letting that breath flow out naturally, there's that little beat at the bottom, that little space at the bottom of the breath before that next breath flows back in. Just notice that for a few breaths. Space at the bottom of the breath. And now we can take a little bit of, we can guide the breath a little bit. We can take conscious decision, a choice to just slow the breath a little bit. So what we'll do is just at the bottom of the breath, we're just going to pause that space for a few more beats. So you're going to get to the bottom of the breath, you're going to pause, 2, 3, and then you're just going to let that breath flow back in. And I'd like you to do that on every single breath you take, just for the next few breaths. It's a very comfortable pause, it's a rest, it's a little bit of stillness at the bottom of the breath. And that next breath in is very light, it's enjoyable, it's satisfying, it's calming. pause is a reset. It's a little bit of stillness. And we'll follow 3 more breaths. Enjoying the stillness at the bottom of the breath. And after that 3rd breath, you can take a very calm, full breath in again. You can have a little hold at the top of the breath. You can open your eyes if you have your eyes closed. You can have another little stretch. We can have another little twist. What a beautiful morning, hopefully. Excellent. I hope we'll play around a little bit more with that, because it's one of the most challenging, I think, one of the most challenging breathing practices to do. It's easy to go, hold the breath, or take big breaths, or breathe 4, 4, 4, 4. But actually to get that sense of light breathing without it feeling stressful, or particularly without the body tightening up. We tend to tighten the body. So we need to keep that softness, that relaxation, that flow, that rhythm in the body, even though we're breathing very, very lightly. And by default, because we're pausing a little bit, you're breathing slow. And then we're remembering that response deep into the body. Play around with that. Come back on Wednesday for a little bit more movement. We'll do a little bit more of our stance position as well on Wednesday. Have a great day. As always, I appreciate you joining me and your support, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Take care. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Bye.